Hello and welcome. I'm Animal Communications and dog expert Claudia here. In my last video, I answered the question, do dogs need coats in the winter? If you haven't seen the video, please go back and watch it. It's really important. And today I would like to talk to you about how to find the right coat for your dog companion. So let's first start to talk about different styles. There are actually three types of dog coat styles. So the first one is the dog coat, which is, it's usually placed over your dog's back, and then it's fastened in the front and underneath the rib cage. So that's a traditional dog coat. The next style is a sweater, what's called a sweater. And the sweater is pulled over your dog's head, and then it has two openings for the front paws. And the next style is a suit, and there are many different names for it. And so basically it has an opening for the head, and then it has 4 legs, opening for all legs, and it's usually closed either on the bottom or on the top. So that's a suit. And then of course you have many variations between all three of them. So, but those are basically the 3 basic styles: the dog coat, the sweater, and the suit. When you buy or when you get a coat for your dog companion, so let's call all the styles a coat, so whatever style you're getting. But when you're getting a coat for your dog companions, there's actually 3 really important areas you have to look out for. The first one is the size of the coat. I would say all the dogs that I see who are wearing a coat, 85 to 90%, the coats don't fit properly. And it's really sad because, you know, people go out, they're purchasing a coat for their dog companions, and then it's not the right size. And it really, if it's not the right size, it doesn't protect your dog companion. So really make sure you have the right size. So what you want to look for is, first of all, when your dog companion is wearing the coat, no matter what style, it has to fit nicely. So your dog companion has to be able to move around, walk, run, sit, go to the bathroom, sniff without any restrictions. So it has to fit nicely. That's one thing. The other thing is also that so many times the coats are actually, that the dogs are wearing, are actually too small. So what does that mean? So what you want to do is you're putting on a coat on your dog companion to protect your companion from the elements. So if it's too small, it doesn't protect from the elements. So what you want to do is you want to cover as much of your dog's body as possible. So you really want to cover everything from the neck all the way down to the base of the tail. It's really important because you want the body to be warm. You want the body to be protected from the wind, the snow, the rain. And most coats are actually too short. They only go to the bottom of the rib cage. But what's really important down there, I mean, there is the bladder, there are the kidneys, and you want to keep them warm. Same thing, if you wear a coat in the wintertime and it's freezing out there and you keep your coat open, it doesn't protect you. Or you wear a little jacket that only goes to your waist or above. I mean, what about the rest of your body? You know, your abdomen, you are going to get cold. Just a few weeks ago, I did a TV, I was interviewed for a TV show, and it was done in a barn, and it was a very cold day, and I had the thickest boots I have on. I had double socks. I had my biggest winter coat on, and so I was really, gloves, I mean, you name it, I was really bundled up. However, I was standing there for 5 hours in a cold barn on concrete, so I was frozen through, and I was really dressed well. So think about it. If you put on a coat on your dog companions, you want them to stay warm, so it has to fit properly. Again, from the base of the neck, from the neck to the base of the tail. That's very important. Most coats look like this. They are too short, so make sure it's long enough. And also it has to be important that it goes around your dog companion's body. So if it just sits like a little saddle on the top of your dog companion's back, it doesn't do anything. Again, you want to protect as much as you can of the body. Really, really important. And then some, usually it's the sweater type styles, they have armpits, which are gigantic. When you look at them, it's a tiny little coat, and they have arms or leg cutouts like this. Same thing, it doesn't keep your dog companion warm. However, you have to make sure, of course, that it's not too tight, that your dog can move freely and it doesn't rub or anything like that. So make sure you really, really measure, you know, let your dog companion try it on and see how your dog companion can move in and with the sweater. The other thing you also want to make sure is that, again, when your dog companion moves, I mean, dogs usually have the nose on the ground because that's how they, you know, get all their news and everything, and find out what's going on. I mean, they love to sniff. So when they bend down, it's very important that the coat stays on top, nicely snug on the back of your dog companion's body. If the coat goes up, the wind, all the warmth goes out. So there's, you know, it doesn't keep your dog companion warm. So it has to be nice and snug on the body. The other thing, when I'm talking about too big, I see that so often too, that just the other day I was out, and somebody was walking their boxer, and he was wearing just a t-shirt, and it was really, really cold out there, like minus 37 degrees. It was a really cold day. And the boxer was wearing the t-shirt. However, the t-shirt was just hanging on the on the bottom. So there was absolutely, first of all, it was the wrong material. It didn't keep the dog warm in any way, shape, or form. And second, if it's just hanging there, what's the purpose? It was just getting wet from the snow on the ground, but it didn't do anything to protect this poor little dog. So make sure you have the right size. The other thing too is very important that you make sure that it is a nice fit around the tail, because a lot of dogs, they wear the tail up. So if that coat interferes with the tail, it's very uncomfortable for your dog companion. So also make sure that it fits nicely around your dogs on the base of the tail. Now, the second thing you have to look at is the material. What kind of material is the dog coat made out of? So for example, I mean, it really depends too what kind of conditions, what you're looking for in a coat. So for example, if you have, as I just mentioned to you, we had a really cold day. It was an extreme winter cold warning, and we had minus, with the wind chill factor, it felt like minus 37 degrees. So they actually said, if you're outside, your skin can freeze in as little as 10 minutes. So skin, that's not just human skin, that's also animal skin. So their skin can freeze as well. So think about it, what kind of conditions are you looking, like what kind of coat are you looking for, what kind of weather conditions? So for example, my little girl, there she is, she's just lying on my lap. She is a little Chihuahua, and she has absolutely she has no fur on her little belly. So now we're inside, and she gets cold. She gets cold so easily. So she's wearing something inside. And in the summer, if we have a cool day, she gets cold. Or fall and spring, you know, if it's like 5 degrees outside, she gets cold. It's too cold for her, so she needs a coat. Or in the summer, all my animal companions, they are hot, so I turn on the air conditioning. They are like relieved, oh, thank you. And she's freezing, so she needs a coat. But of course, she wears a different coat when she's inside or in the summer than in the winter. So she has many different styles and materials, thicknesses, because again, what is the weather condition that you're buying a coat for? So again, right now she's wearing a little sweater. There she is. And it's inside. So she wears a little sweater. And of course, when we go outside and it's really cold, she wears a whole bodysuit. So think about the material. But mostly, you know, mostly of course you're buying a coat for the winter when it's really cold. So what I do when I buy any coat, any style, I do what I call a blow test. So what I do is I put my hand into the coat as if my dog companion would be wearing it. So it's I just one ply, so I don't do it double. No, just I slip into the coat with my hand. And then what I do, I blow on it as hard as I can. So then if I feel my breath going right through it, then I know this doesn't really protect from the elements, because if it's windy, it goes right through you. Like I like to knit, for example, I knitted that sweater, right? And I knit sweaters for myself. And when it's cold outside and it's windy, those sweaters don't protect me. However, if I wear something over it, like a windbreaker, yes, they keep me warm. But just wearing a sweater, if it's cold and windy and snowy, does not protect you from the elements. So you have to think about that. So what kind of material? I mean, even that's also, you know, also called a sweater. It looks thicker, but you blow through it, it goes right through it. If I use this one and I blow through it, I don't feel anything. So this is really, really nice, good material. So think about what kind of material, what kind of weather conditions do you want the coat for your dog companion. Now you also might want to, I sometimes, with my little girl, she sometimes wears 2 different coats. So she might wear, let's say, you know, a sweater, and then I put something else on top to get her really nice and warm. But then make sure when you double coats that, first of all, again, they can move easily and freely. And also the coat that's on top usually needs to be a little bit bigger, because otherwise, if it's the regular size and then all of a sudden what's in the coat is more, it shrinks the coat size, of course. So make sure it really, really fits nicely. So many times you can find, I took a couple of pictures of coats that you can buy at stores, and look at those. There's absolutely nothing. I mean, a t-shirt does not protect from anything. I mean, when would you use a t-shirt for your dog companions? That could be maybe in the summer. Let's say they had to have their fur shaved, or for whatever reasons, and so you put maybe the t-shirt on just to protect from the sun so they don't get sunburned. But in the fall, winter, or especially winter, a t-shirt really doesn't do anything. It has to be a nice thick material. It has to really keep your dog companion warm. So just think about it. Does that keep my dog companion warm? Especially for little dogs, there's so many thin materials. They really, really don't do anything. And the next thing you have to think about, and so many people, I don't think I've ever met any person who has ever thought about it, that is the weight of the coat. So think about my little girl. She's like I said, she's just lying on my, here she is. Yeah, sorry for, you know, there she is. She weighs 4 pounds. She is 4 pounds. So many times if I want to buy something for her, let's say a coat, and I lift the coat, and the coat weighs maybe a pound. Yes, it doesn't seem much, a pound, but if you weigh 4 pounds, a pound is a quarter of your size, of your weight. So think about it this way. If you weigh 160 pounds, that means you would have to walk around in a coat that weighs 40 pounds. Or if you're 200 pounds, you have to wear a coat that's 50 pounds. You know how heavy that is? So make sure you really, how heavy is the coat? How much does the coat weigh? It's so important, because again, you wear 4 pounds, you carry a pound, that's a lot of weight. So make sure you really look into that and feel it as well when you buy a coat. The other thing is, there are so many coats that are, look at this coat. I saw that the other day. I actually went through some stores to take some pictures, you know, for you to see. And I found this one. Yes, it looks cute, but first of all, dogs really don't like to have anything over their heads, specifically when they have pointy ears, because it really makes them feel funny wearing something over their ears, because they can't really hear anything, they can't move their ears. It's a really, really weird feeling. And then on top, look at those ears. I mean, what's the purpose? Maybe it looks cute, but it's horrible for your dog companion to wear anything like that, because if your dog bends down, those things flop over. It's very heavy. There's absolutely no purpose on that. So avoid things like that. Or look at this one. Why? That doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything. It doesn't keep your dog warm. It's just, dogs don't like that kind of stuff, and it doesn't really serve any purpose whatsoever. So really make sure, again, what kind of weather conditions are you looking for to protect your dog companions from? Make sure it's the right size. Look at that. Those sweaters, you can already see that they are way too short, because it doesn't cover all the way from the legs to the back of the tail. So those are very too short. Okay, so size, what kind of material, and how much does the coat weigh? Anyway, I hope this helps you to find the right style, the right coat for your dog companion. Another thing too is you might want to consider what color. I talk to so many animals, and they tell you the preference of their, of the color they like to wear. It's really important. I had a client, and her dog companion's coat wasn't really keeping her warm anymore, so she asked for a coat. So my client went out and bought her a coat, came back, put the dog coat onto her dog companion, and her dog companion said, "Nope, I'm not going out." So I'm getting a call, and my client says, "I just went out and bought this coat, and she doesn't want to wear it. She doesn't even want to go outside. What's going on? I spent all this money." So I checked with her dog companion and asked, what's wrong with the coat? And she says, "It's pink." So I told my client, and she said, "Oh yeah, it has a pink square right in the middle." That's why she actually got it cheaper. She got it 50%. So I said, well, she doesn't like pink. So luckily the coat was reversible. So my client turned it inside out. She did that, put it on her dog companion, no problem. Her dog companion went out, was happy to have a nice warm coat. So you might also want to ask your dog companion about what kind of colors does he or she like. And there's one more important thing. No matter what kind of coat or how thick the coat is that you're getting for your dog companion and your dog companion is wearing, no matter how thick, how warm, how expensive, whatever the coat is, just because your dog companion wears a coat doesn't mean that now he or she can be outside for who knows how long. Because the coat only covers so much of your dog companion's body. So the face, the ears, and look at my little girl, you can literally read the paper through her ears. They're so paper thin. So the ears, the face, the legs, the feet, and especially the belly and the private parts, the genitalia, they are not covered. So again, when you have minus 37 degrees outside and your skin can freeze in 10 minutes, those and the tail too, those parts of the body are not protected. So they can freeze really easily. So make sure that even if your dog companion is wearing the best possible coat you can buy, make sure you only take your dog companions out for short walks, more frequently, but for short walks, because not the entire body is covered, only certain parts. So it's still a danger for your dog companion to be out in the cold. Anyway, hope this helps you a lot, and please make sure to subscribe so you get all kinds of great information and tips and all kinds of stuff right into your inbox. And please share this video, because we can help so many animal companions, so many animals to have a healthy, happy, and wonderful life. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day, and have you told your animal companion how special they are today?